Skylark Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about the most important thing you need to buy to be a better skier. But before we get to that, I hope you have the best ski season that you're going to have. And if I see you on the mountain, say hi. And if you want to support us, please subscribe. So, there's a lot of different equipment that you might need to invest in to get started skiing. Now, some of that gear can be expensive. However, there's a lot of ways around that. But of all the things that you need to buy, like ski goggles, ski helmets, ski jackets, ski pants, and skis themselves, there's one thing that is more important than anything else, and I would invest more money into than any other part of your ski equipment setup. And that's ski boots. Why do you need to invest in ski boots? So we'll go through some of the other stuff and some of the ways that you can save money on all the other equipment, and why I do think investing in ski boots is the number one priority you should have if you're going from someone that rents gear to someone that wants to own some of their own gear and then learn to be a better skier. So with skis, there's lots of ways that you can get discounted skis. And the great thing about skis is that a lot of people only use them 2 or 3 times a year. So some skis are practically brand new. One of the best ways to find a good pair of skis is if you live in a ski town, go to some place that has a ski swap. A lot of times you're going to find skis that are under $50 that are going to be right for you and are going to allow you to advance in the sport. Now, another place that you can check is ski shops at the end of the season. If they're selling their demos, or if you go to maybe even a resort, sometimes they're going to sell those demo skis at a discount, or even a friend might have a pair of skis. Now, one thing that you want to be aware of while looking at used skis is while the skis themselves can be old, what's important is that you get quality bindings that are not too old and that have been properly tested and installed. Most ski shops can do that for you, or at least look at the binding and tell you what you might have in terms of issues. And if you go to something like a ski swap, where I live locally, we've got a ski swap at the end and beginning of the year that the ski teams host. They have all the people on the ski team go through the skis and make sure that they're selling a quality ski with a good binding on it at a discounted price. And it's a way to fundraise for the local ski teams. And I even bought a pair of skis from them one year. Perfect skis, great bindings, had no issues. And I think I got them for under $50. And I still have those skis today. They're great skis and they work for me. And once you get to be a more advanced skier, you're going to kind of know what you want in skis and be able to determine what you like and what type of skis may be right for you. And one of the ways that you can determine that is go do demo skis. Now, you may think the next most expensive part of going skiing is getting that outfit and having swag. Let me tell you, you can find a ton of good quality used ski gear at thrift shops, especially if you live in a ski area, and you can find something that you're going to have the swag, steez in, and is going to keep you warm. There's tons of jackets and coats out there, and that's the way I would go if I was just getting started. I'd go to a thrift shop and find some quality ski gear. You can just look for those brand names, try it on, see how it fits, and you know what? If you don't find the right thing, go to the next one. But that kind of gear is really not going to make that big of a difference in how good of a skier you are. You may look a little bit cooler. You may have a little bit more fun on the slopes. However, I would defer all that money you're going to spend on skis and all that money that you're going to spend on a ski outfit and invest it in ski boots. And the reason being is that ski boots that fit you and that are properly fitted are going to provide you the most comfort and control while you're skiing. And if you don't have boots, which are your connection to the ski, and you don't have quality boots that fit you, you're going to have all kinds of pain, a lack and loss of control, and it's going to make the skiing experience so much harder. I still remember the first time that I went from getting rental boots at different places that never really fit me great, but I could get done with and go down the hill. And after a couple hours, my feet would be sore, my shins would be sore, my ankles would be sore, and getting my first pair of ski boots that were fitted to me. And that's what I recommend that you do, is you go to what's called a boot fitter. And a lot of ski shops will have that. If they're a more reputable shop, they'll have a professional boot fitter on staff, or you can even go to places that do nothing but boot fitting. And what will happen there is they're going to have you try on a whole bunch of different boots. They're going to have you try on different sizes of boots. They're going to try on different models of boots and find the right one that fits for you. Now there's a couple different ways that you can go about it. There are some boots like this one right here. This is from Fisher. It's a vacuum fit boot. So what they do is put this thing in an oven and then they vacuum fit it to your feet and ankles and calves. And that way they heat up and then mold to your feet, which is really cool. And I do really love those boots. Now, a couple other things about the whole boot fitting process, and a boot fitter is going to go into way more detail for this with you, but you can heat the shells up and the liners up to typically mold to your feet. But a lot of times what they look at first with your foot is your foot size, which is going to be the length here, but then also your foot volume. So they'll have high volume, which is what I have here. I think it says HV on here, which is a larger, higher volume foot, including just the length. Or maybe you'll have a medium volume foot, or maybe you'll have a low volume foot. And that's the volume of your foot rather than just the length. So not only do they fit your foot for the length, but they're also going to fit it for the actual volume of your foot and how it fits within the boot. Now, another thing that a boot fitter will go through, or when you're buying boots, is they're going to look at the flex of the boot. And while this isn't standardized across all different manufacturers, basically you've got a boot stiffness rating between, let's say, 80 and 130 for most average skiers. Now, there's professional skiers out there, but they don't need to know this information. For your average person, probably a boot stiffness of somewhere in the 80 to 100 range is going to really work well for you. Now, that all depends on your size and weight and everything like that. I'm a little bit heavier, so I think these boots are a 110. But what that stiffness is how easy the shell flexes. And if it flexes more, it has a lower number. If it flexes less, it has a higher number. Since I'm a bigger guy, I have a little bit stiffer boot, 110 boot, but I don't mind even stiffer boots than this, but that's because I've been skiing for a while and I just have a preference for something that's going to transfer all the power and weight I have into the ski. However, when I was just getting started with skiing, I had a much less stiff boot, and it is incredibly comfortable. And typically, as you move up in stiffness with a boot, it sometimes can get a little bit less comfortable because there's less flex in the shell. Whereas a less stiff boot is going to provide you more comfort typically, but less power transfer because more of that energy is going into the flex of the boot. So you've got high volume, medium volume, low volume, and then you've got the stiffness of the boot. When you go to a boot fitter, they're also going to look at the shape of your ankle and leg and lower calf and how that fits into a boot. Now, there's all kinds of adjustments you can make with the boots, and boot fitters will know those adjustments. Sometimes they can add little pieces in the rear. They can add little pieces on the sides of this to be able to make it fit your foot better. But the key is try on boots until they fit you perfectly. When you get a pair of professionally fitted ski boots from a boot fitter, they should feel just like your shoes when you walk around at home. And that is how comfortable the boots that I've owned that have been fit professionally by a boot fitter are. I can ski all day in them, 8 hours. I can walk to and from the lift with these with no problem. And I have no issues or pain wearing boots that long when you get something professionally fit. And that is why it's worth the investment more than all the other pieces of gear. Comfort is going to make you a better skier, and you're going to enjoy the entire experience more. So if you're thinking about what gear you should get for the upcoming season, I highly recommend, if you want to advance, get a professionally fit pair of boots. Now, along with getting the boot fit and heating it up to mold it to your foot, there's a lot of customization they can do, which are called punches within the boots to fit your particular foot and size. And a lot of boot fitters will allow you to come back and get adjustments even after you've skied in the boots a little bit. See if you've got a hot spot or a sore spot, and you go back to the boot fitter and they will adjust that for you. Typically, they'll just punch something out a little bit wider for your foot shape, or maybe they'll heat it back up and allow that mold of the boot to fit better to your foot. But if there's one thing that I think is going to make you a better skier and make your skiing more enjoyable, it's getting a professionally fit pair of boots that fit you perfectly and you're going to love. I would highly recommend spending the extra money to get a pair of boots professionally fit rather than just buying something off the internet that fits your size, because what a professional boot fitter will do is be able to make adjustments and determine all those other dimensions of your leg, your calf, your ankle, and try and get you in the right boot for you. And that's what they do all day. They look at feet and figure out what boot is going to fit best. So thanks for watching this video on what you should invest in to be a better skier, which is ski boots. Give us that thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope to see you on the mountain. Thank you.